Hey guys, Courtney Epps here for another episode of What's Your Plan B? Why you would be brain dead not on a home-based business. And I have John Melton here. I'm so super excited. Crazy, crazy person. Y'all are gonna love him. Thank you, John, for being on today of What's Your Plan B?
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. We're going to have some fun.
Yes, yes. And so if you will just share kind of your story of what your background was before network marketing, why you got involved in network marketing, what you love about it.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. You're crushing it. I know you provide so much value for the network marketing profession. I know you helped one of my leaders save like $50,000 a year alone, her working with you. And I know you've helped her a ton and others as well in my company. But, I got involved in network marketing. Actually, next month will be my 19-year anniversary in the profession. And I got started. I was 20 years old. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I had no background in business. I'd never heard of Amway, Mary Kay, Herbalife, network marketing, MLM. I knew nothing. So when I saw it, I was hook, line, and sinker. I thought this was the greatest idea in the history of anything I'd seen. I was only 20, so I hadn't seen that much. But I thought it was genius, and mostly because I felt like a loser because I was going to school, basically just because that's what you're supposed to do, right? I was going to community college, which, it's funny, my high school. So when you would drive down my road out of my neighborhood and go right, about 5 minutes down the road was my high school. My community college was 5 minutes to the left. So it was like basically 13th and 14th grade was right down the road. But we used to call it Harvard on the Hill. But we when I say we, my wife and I met in network marketing, and I'm just so grateful, not only for getting involved in network marketing at a young age, but meeting so many incredible people over the last 19 years. I mean, it's been the greatest blessing ever. But I will say that getting involved in network marketing back then, it was very different. It was a very different profession, did not have a great reputation. There was no social media back then, right? So we were building our business belly to belly, knee to knee, essentially cold calling people and inviting them out to our we called them briefings. So we were working out of an office, and we'd have briefings actually Monday at 2:30, Tuesday at 1 o'clock and 6:30, Wednesday at 1 o'clock, Thursday at 1 o'clock and 6:30, Friday at 11. I still remember that schedule. But we just put butts in the seats. That was the whole concept, right? Whoever has the most butts in the seats wins. And I didn't know a whole lot about a whole lot, but I knew if I could bring humans to see what I saw, some of them would say yes. And, to me, network marketing made so much sense because they didn't care if you were from Yale or jail. They didn't care if you were 18 or 88. They didn't care your professional background, your college education, none of that mattered. So to me, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And then, of course, I went home and talked to my friends and family. They told me how it's a pyramid scheme. You're an idiot. You shouldn't do that. Thank God I didn't listen, because it took us 7 years to finally get to a full-time income. We went full-time in 2008. At that time, I was actually doing mortgages where I made a bunch of money when the market was booming. But went full-time in network marketing 2008. 2017, I had my first 7-figure year. And this year would be the first year we've made multiple 7 figures. And it's all because, we just kept showing up, kept improving, kept learning, and remained a student the last 19 years. So it's really been a blessing for sure.
That's amazing. And that's crazy because just talking about 19 years. So I've been an accountant for 19 years.
Oh, there you go.
And so, it's nuts that around the same time, like I've been doing this for 19 years, it took a long time to get to a point where we were doing a full-time income just off of accounting. So, and it's crazy, like this year will be our first, multiple 7-figure year.
Nice.
We're different industries, but, kind of the same thing going along. And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand. It's like, you have to become an expert in something. And one of the great things about becoming an expert, and they say, you've got to put in 10,000 hours
right
to become an expert. And then you can start making massive, substantial, impact and also money. And so I think that's one of the things that, I'd love for you to share is just some people come in at a different level into the marketing space. And some people look at themselves and they try to compare themselves to someone else who's making a lot of money. And they say, why can't I do it that fast? And it's because they've already been doing certain things along the way. So I know you can elaborate on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you get started in network marketing and you don't have credibility and you've never done something like this before. That was my first experience. The first company I was in, I was 20. I mean, dude, in fact, I had friends of mine, they were like, if John's doing it, I'm not even going to look at it because it's probably something shady, probably something sketchy. I didn't have a great reputation. I was a total loser punk. All I did was party, drink, chase girls, did drugs. I was stupid. But network marketing showed me that I could be successful. At first it was like, hey, I just want to make enough money to like move out of my parents' house, right? Obviously the goals grew from there, but I didn't have a lot of credibility. So it was hard for me. I probably spent more than I made those first couple of years because there was just a lot of expenses, a lot of travel. We used to pay desk rent. So you could rent a desk. I would rent half a desk and me and this other guy would split the cost of the desk because you had to pay for the office. So everybody that had a desk and had a phone line, they all had to pay for anyway. So it was really tough. It was a slow go for me in the beginning. That company went out of business. But here's the thing, Courtney. I took what I learned in network marketing, the personal development, how to not make excuses, how to have a work ethic, how to overcome objections, how to have thick skin, all the things. And I went into the mortgage industry and crushed it. I mean, I made $125,000 my first year. I still remember I went in for a job interview. So this is me getting my first like real job, right? I waited tables before MLM, but for the most part, never had a real job. I go in for the job interview and I told the guy, the owner of the mortgage company, I said, I will outwork every person in your company. I said, I guarantee I'll outwork everybody. I don't know what a mortgage is. No idea what a mortgage is, but I'll sell it. And he's like, okay. And just think about little things like that. I don't want to go on a rant about this, but why don't they teach you about mortgages, accounting, money, credit, all these things in school? It's kind of important to be a human.
Yes.
So anyway, they should have like adult 101.
Yes.
So for me, I just worked my face off. I made 100 calls a day because the guy said, if you make 100 calls a day, you'll make six figures. So the first year I made 125,000. The next year and the year after that, I was the #1 loan officer in a mortgage company in Baltimore. But they used to say you're only as good as your last month. So every month I had to start all over at zero. So I got back into network marketing halfway through my mortgage career. I was there for 4 years. So it was a little short-term career right there. But for me, that second time around, Courtney, you kind of touched on this, but I had so much more credibility because I was the #1 loan officer at the mortgage company. So when I got into another business the second time around, having credibility, we flew through the ranks. I put in 43 people my first month, hundreds of customers, made a check with a comma, $6,600. I still remember that because it was way back in 2006. It was the first time I made like a lot of money in network marketing. And then after 6 months, I hit 10,000 in 1 month part-time. And after 2 years, I fired my boss. I went full-time after 2 years with that company. And then I did, essentially home meetings every night, weekly Saturday meetings. I mean, I worked my face off. So somebody might see us and go, man, I've been doing it longer than John and Nadia. How are they having more success? But the truth is, #1, we had way more credibility because we'd already been in network marketing before. We had some experience and we had credibility bringing over all these real estate professionals, right? Yes. The second thing is we outworked everybody. I mean, it was a combination of credibility, having a decent sized network back then, but also having a work ethic. And I think, sometimes we compare our front yard to someone's backyard, right? And we're looking at someone's chapter 5 and we're on chapter 1 and we get frustrated and get comparitis. And you got to be careful. Comparitis is the thief of joy. And you just can't allow someone else's success to demotivate you. It should inspire you. It should encourage you, because if nobody was having success in your company, well, that wouldn't be very exciting, right? So you need someone to show you what's possible. Instead of being frustrated, get fascinated. I learned this very early on in my network marketing career. And even though of course, I'm like anybody else, I'm competitive, right? I want to win. I want to be the best. I understand that personality, but you have to be very careful not to allow your comparitis and frustration for the lack of results to demotivate you or discourage you from doing the work. Because, and Eric Worre says this all the time, and I know you work a lot with Eric. He says, you'll be punished or rewarded based on the life you led prior to getting involved. So some of us, we got to go out there and earn it. And we're going to have to go out there and work a lot harder than somebody that has credibility and influence, but you don't know what they had to do to create that. You don't know the price they paid. You see them in their winning season. You don't know what they lost in their losing season. So it's really important to be conscientious of that, because I think a lot of us do get really hung up on comparing our results or our team. I remember I used to always get frustrated because I'd be like, God, my team is all young and lazy and, like, what's going on? Like, this sucks. Like, these people are terrible, like all this stuff. And it was such a bad mindset, because the truth is you attract who you are, right? And I needed to level up and become the leader that I wanted to attract.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And that's the great thing, just exactly what you said is that and Tony Robbins brings this up all the time. It's not about the person it's not about the goal. It's not about where you're going. It's about the person you become in order to get there. I think so many times people are so focused on a goal, and what they don't realize is that they have to become a better person in order to reach that goal. And, I got involved in the Tony Robbins world 3 years ago, and I was lost. Like, I was in a place, I was really lost. And that's when I actually stopped building network marketing completely. I stopped building my accounting practice, and I said, I'm done. Like, I'm just going to, I don't know what I'm going to do, but, if we are homeless, it's okay. I was going through a really bad time in my life. And I realized that I was massively undervaluing myself. I realized I had massive self-sabotage because I lost a business in the past. I wouldn't allow myself to be a professional. And thank God, like, I realized I didn't even know who Tony Robbins was had it not been for the network marketing industry. So, so many people don't understand that personal growth and development is their problem, and until they get involved in it. So I showed up to an event thinking, well, I need to grow my business. And I realized I was the problem. And it took me a couple of events, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't growing because I wasn't the person that I need to be in order to take the next level.
Right.
And that's one of the things, just like you're saying, is that you get around people who are not necessarily, I'm not saying they're making more money. I'm not saying they're better than anyone else. But when you get around people who are like John, like I look at John, and if John is making 7 figures, I should be able to make 7 figures. Like, what's wrong with me? So I want to grow and do more, because I have people who are doing more than I am. So I'm very competitive the same exact way. And I think that's one of the great things about network marketing is that you have people like John who are saying, you know what, I can help you get exactly where you want to go. I can help you make more money than me because I financially benefit from you. Like, it is the smartest marketing plan and the smartest way of building a business that you could ever think of. So just tell me, I know you have tens of thousands, if not maybe hundreds of thousands of people on your team. What drives you every day to continue to go out and grow your business? Because I know it's not about money at this point in time. It's more along the lines of impact. So can you share that?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, and it's something that's kind of hard to explain for people if they don't have a passion or something they're obsessed with. But I look at like these high level athletes, right, where they like don't want to retire. And then even if they do retire, typically they go into coaching or they still stay in that field, right? Because they love it. They have a passion for it. So I have a passion for what I do. Like, I'm obsessed. Anybody that works with me, they know they can always rely on me or count on me to be excited, to be fired up, to be motivated, to be leading by example. It's just something, when you find something you're really good at and something you really enjoy, it doesn't even feel like work. Obviously, technically it is working, but when I'm relaxing, and how many of you can relate to this, drop into the comments, let me know, smash that heart button if you're watching this live. I find myself struggling sometimes to relax, right? Because I want to work. I want to build my business. I want to support my team. I want to go out there and run and build and lead by example, like all the things. Now, of course, you need to chill, and I get my 8 hours of sleep, right? I get my 8 hours. But like, if I go on vacation, and Nadia's like, hey, we're going to go to the beach. It's like, okay, cool. Go to the beach. We have fun. But halfway through, the day, let's say it's like, 3 o'clock, like I want to check my phone. Like I want to respond to some messages. I want to talk to some humans. I want to talk to my people. Like I can't go an entire day, let alone an entire week, and like not talk to my people. That'd be like me not talking to my kids for an entire day or week, or me not talking to Nadia for an entire day or week. Like I love these people. I love what I do. I am freaking obsessed. And I don't want to be, what's crazy? I always say how it's bad to be a people pleaser. But in many ways, I also think that's a good thing. And here's what I mean by that. Just hear me out. I know some people are thinking, no, people pleasing's bad. But I don't want anyone to say, I worked with John Melton and I never heard from him. I joined his team, couldn't reach him. Now, of course, if it's someone 15 levels deep, okay, that's different. But if it's like a direct recruit, I feel a responsibility to support that person, right? I'm the one that sponsored them. I'm the one that partnered with them. And then if I ghost them, what kind of leader am I really, right? It's like, is it really that exciting to bring someone into your business and make a fast start bonus? No, that's not exciting. My old upline used to say, it's not exciting. That's just paperwork, right? That's just paperwork. What's exciting is when they have a result, right? They make their money back. They get their first promotion. They get their 5th promotion. They fire their boss, right? They create their dream life. They go out there and buy their dream home, right? Or from a product standpoint, is it really that exciting? Like I'm drinking my smart coffee, right? So if I sell someone this coffee and they think it's nasty and they return it, is that exciting? No. I want them to love it. I want them to get the result that they were buying the product for, or they were joining the business for. Does that make sense? So for me, it's a combination of the competitive side of me, right? I always want my team to crush it. I want to crush it. I want to lead by example. I want to be at the top of the leaderboards, all the things. And then the other side of it is just having a real passion and a love for what I do, and helping people is really what you fall in love with. When you really take a step back, you look at network marketing, and you already mentioned this, it's about helping other people. Yes. The more impact you make, the more you make a difference in other people's lives. And it's not, dude, I did an interview yesterday with Tom Chenault, and we were talking about sobriety. Now, some people still drink. Nadia, she drinks wine. She has a good time, but she doesn't have an issue, right? She doesn't need to drink. Most people don't need to drink. But those of us that feel like we need to drink to have a good time, or we need to drink to be ourselves, like that's a problem. And he talked about his sobriety the last 30 years. I talked about mine the last 12 years. I would not be sober. I guarantee I would not be sober right now if it wasn't for network marketing, right? I wouldn't have the life I have if it wasn't for network marketing. So like you said, there's a lot of side effects that come from being a part of this profession. Being exposed to Tony Robbins, same here. I never heard of Tony Robbins until network marketing, right? So it's really powerful once you get involved in this profession and you understand what's possible, and you understand the difference you can make in the lives of other people with your products, the personal development, the experiences you have, the people you meet. The money is great, but honestly, I know a lot of people that were in network marketing. They're not in it right now. They got out of network marketing. They were in Amway for a while, or they were in this company or that company, and they're not in the profession today, but they met their spouse in network marketing, or they groomed their kids based on lessons learned being in network marketing. They have incredible kids and grandchildren because of that domino effect of getting involved in network marketing at some point in their past. There's a lot of entrepreneurs, actually, a lot of business owners in the world that their first business was network marketing. That's where they cut their teeth. That's where they learned to be an entrepreneur. Sounds like that was kind of your experience. So it's definitely something for me that I'm obviously, you guys can tell I'm a little passionate about it. So that's what keeps me going every day. I absolutely love it.
I love it. And so mine, I've actually been an entrepreneur for 19 years, and I lost a business. I sold it 10 years ago, and the guy I sold it to stopped paying me after months, and I was $250,000 in debt. And so that really broke me for a long time. And I was able to start back, and through network marketing, I was able to start building back my clientele. And so I joined a network marketing business. I didn't understand the benefits of having a home-based business until 2014 when I signed up. And it's really crazy. The guy who brought me in or got me to actually start building, he asked me if I was willing to do a tax return for someone in the group. And so I did. And I saved her $4,100 more than she'd ever got back on her taxes before. And the crazy part, I guess, is that I never saw network marketing as a viable opportunity at all. And as an accountant, we're not taught that network marketing is legitimate. I mean, like we are literally taught in college that that is not something you ever want to get involved in. You traditional business. There's no tax strategy that's taught in college. And so, I saw this and I'm like, this is not real. Like, whatever, it sounds like the product's great, but I showed up to an event and I saved this woman $4,100. And I'm like, oh my God, like I could sign up. All these people think I literally my first regional.
And let's be clear though. You saved her $4,100, not because she made a bunch of money in network marketing, but because she was in network marketing. She saved that from her regular income employment, right?
Yeah. So she was a nurse and her husband was an engineer. And I compared the two. I compared her with the network marketing business and without it. And it was $4,100. And so I went home and I told my husband, I said, baby, like, we're going to kill it. We're going to go to this regional event on Saturday. They're having this event with this company and we're going to show up. And I ordered business cards and I went to that event and I fell in love with the culture. And I'm like, oh my God, like we could help people make money. We could help people save money in taxes. Like this is the greatest thing ever. And I ended up putting in 900 people in that company. And I fell in love with it. And every year while I was doing network marketing, I was like, I'm probably not going to be doing taxes next year. I'm going to be doing network marketing full time. So it wasn't the greatest marketing plan, but I grew indirectly my accounting practice through that because what I was doing is I was showing people. I did 900 tax returns in that company, over 900, I guess. But I compared them to where they would have been had they not had their own home-based business. And not every one of them were successful. A lot of them were not. And by what we mean success is making substantial amount of income. But every one of them guaranteed to save $4,000 to $7,000 a year in taxes. And so I honestly, for a while, 2 years ago, I was not on pace. I had nothing to do with network marketing, hadn't even thought about it for over a year. And I was a fractional CFO. And so I was sharing with people. I was helping people run their company. I was teaching them how to take what's, Keith Cunningham says, the road less stupid. So I'm like, I've lost a business a couple times. I've lost a lot of money. I've gained it all back and I can help businesses grow. And so I was on this path to have just fractional CFO clients. And so that would have been great because all I needed were 10 or 12, $10,000 a month. And I was done. I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I didn't have to deal with thousands and thousands of clients during tax season. And I heard some statistics that brought me back to that point when I was in network marketing doing tax returns for people. And it said that the average household income in America, it's Grant Cardone, and the average household income in America is $60,000 a year. They pay $14,000 in taxes. Their take home is $46,000, and the cost of living in America on average is $53,000 a year. So that means that the average household, family of 4, W-2 employees, are going in debt $7,000 a year to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year to take 2 weeks paid vacation. And it took me right back to the time that I was in network marketing, and I was like, oh my God, I'm the only accountant who's been successful in network marketing. I made it to the top 1% in 2 different companies. People would actually listen to me. I can educate them in a way that most people cannot. And I'm willing to share this information. And so I was actually on my way to go meet the president of a network marketing company that day. And I was going to sign up in another company and finally start building again. And I turned around and came back home. And I said, I'm supposed to do this. This is what God put in my path. And I'm supposed to share with people how they can free up money by having a home-based business, because you don't have to be successful in what your eyes considers to be successful. You don't have to be like John. You don't have to be like a network marketing leader. You just have to attempt to earn an income. And by doing so, you now can write off meals and mileage and cell phone and internet, business use of home, things you're already spending every single day. And you get to move out of this tax system that was created to steal wealth away from you, which is the employee system, and you get to move into the business owner system just by attempting to earn an income. And so that lady, what's crazy about it, I saved her that money. She'd never even used the product before, which is why she couldn't sell it to begin with. And so when she had the extra money, she ended up using it. I was in a travel company at the time. She used it, went on a vacation, came back, started telling everybody about it and how amazing it was and how much money she saved in taxes by being in the company. And she ended up hitting the first rank in the company. And you had to do that. In order to do that with that company, it was 60 people. You had to have 60 people on your team in order to get the first rank advancement. And it was life-changing for her, that I just freed up that money. And so that's what I see. Like right now, we're in a place, and I want you to speak on this, John, but right now we're in a place that before the pandemic, 46% of Americans didn't have an extra $400 to their name. And I'm sure that's much less today. And 69% of Americans don't have an extra $1,000 to their name. And guys, that was me. That was me when I joined network marketing. My parents had to pay for me to sign up because I didn't have the extra money. And it changed my whole entire world. Like we've literally gone from $9,000 in 2014 when I saw network marketing and started building my accounting practice back up to we'll hit 2.3 million this year. And so it's great, but it's crazy. It's like, and I've not spent $1 in advertising. It's come all through the network marketing industry, but it was personal growth and development that I received from the industry. It was people that are doing more than me that I saw, and I'm like, man, I could do that. Like, I just need to work harder. And you're exactly right. Like, I'm addicted to working, not because I need more money, but because I need more impact. I need to feed more children. That's what I do every day. I feed 8,000 children a day through our accounting practice. I need to feed 50,000 a day. Like, that's my purpose. And I need to free up more money for people so that they can live their life and have more and be able to live more and be able to give more. So just kind of share. I mean, I know I just threw a whole bunch at you, but kind of your thoughts on, I mean, I love network marketing. And I'll tell you, I'm not in network marketing, never going to be in network marketing. I'm here to help people understand that it is an amazing opportunity for you. I've done a really good job of building this legacy over here for me, and I've created residual income with my books and my membership and everything else we have going on. But I'm just so thankful to be a part of the industry and be able to help people understand how amazing it is.
Well, it's just like, Eric Worre, Ray Higdon, they're not building a network marketing business, but they're still in the profession. Or, I was talking about the pro athletes, right? They're no longer on the field playing, but a lot of them end up becoming commentators or coaches, or they're still in the industry, right? So I think the timing right now is impeccable. I mean, I told you before we started, our team's done over 22 million in sales in just the last 4 months, all on social media. And we've always been on social media. Well, not always, but since 2013, we've been building on social. And right now, I mean, look, people are at home or they want to be at home, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that, because of the pandemic and what's going on in the world, the riots, the kids not being able to go back to school, so they got to homeschool their kids. Like, there's all these things going on. People would definitely rather earn income from home than having to leave their house to earn income. I think we can all agree with that. So, ultimately, it's a good time to be a network marketer, because every company I know of right now is having growth, right? Their products are flying off the shelves. Leaders are having their biggest months ever. We just had 3 of our biggest months in our network marketing career since the pandemic. I don't want the pandemic to continue. None of us do. But I'm also grateful that we have the business we do and we're capable of earning an income without having to go to the cities or go to work or, be wearing a mask all day at work. And I have a lot of respect for frontline workers and anyone that's having to work during these times. But I think if you were to ask them if they would prefer not to work, if they would prefer to make money from home and not have to go risk their life, literally, I think most of them would probably say yes. But we need those frontline workers too. And again, I'm super grateful for them, but I also know it's got to be tough. It has to be hard. And homeschooling, it's going to be hard for a lot of families that have to do that. So I feel like right now is the best time in our network marketing industry to show people a way to earn income without having to leave their house. And I'm glad I started doing that, because I used to do home meetings every night. And then we made a big shift. We said, we need to pivot. We need to learn how to build from home. And the best way to build from home was to build online. And the best way to build online is via social media. There's like 2 billion people on Facebook, right? Who knows how many other hundreds of millions or billions on these other social platforms, right? LinkedIn and Twitter and TikTok and, Pinterest and Instagram. I mean, it's crazy how you can literally get in contact with humans all over the world and share your products and opportunity. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. And you talked about the tax benefits. You know, my first network marketing company, I remember we used to talk about it all the time, how, you know, even if you don't make money, you can save, you know, thousands of dollars every year, you know, just having a home-based business and not having to pay as much in taxes because you could write off things you're already paying for anyway. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So the key is you got to find a product you believe in. You got to find a company that is aligned with your beliefs, and, you know, they have good intentions. And I think it's really important to find mentorship. I think the one reason I've been successful and you've been successful, you know, we found someone that had what we wanted. We did what they did. We got what they had. And, you know, we had to be willing to get uncomfortable. You know, I love the Brene Brown quote. I share it all the time. She says, choose courage over comfort. So it might be scary to do something different, to, you know, use social media to build a business. For some people, that's very uncomfortable, or to, you know, start talking to people in a way that might feel uncomfortable, right? I know for me, it was like uncomfortable to like say, hey, do you keep your business options open? They're like, John, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you know, I started this new thing. They're like, oh boy. So that was uncomfortable. I still remember I was calling all these people that I knew, trying to get them to switch over their home phone service, because that's what we sold back in 2006 and 2007. And I called up my ex-girlfriend's dad, and I said, hey, Mr. Vinch, would you do me a huge favor, become my customer, and mean the world to me? You know, if I can meet or beat what you're paying right now, something like that. And he said, who are you? I'm like, I dated your daughter for like 18 months. He's like, I don't know you. And he hung up on me. And I'll never forget it, because I was like, dude, that was like painful, man. Like I was like sweating. I got off the call, it's like sweating. It's horrible. I still talk about it today. So you know how stressed I was at the time. You know, some of my really good friends were super negative and super like, just, they would literally warn my other friends, hey, if Melton calls you about that thing he's doing, dude, don't go to it. Don't go to the meeting. It's a cult. I mean, that was brutal. But thank God I kept showing up. I listened to my mentors, right? I had to overcome my own limiting beliefs and insecurities. And I'm still working on myself. Like I'm still, you know, doing the personal development. I'm still investing in myself. I'm still, every day we have to continue to, you know, it's like Tony Robbins talks about, constant and never ending improvement. We have to continue to show up and be a student, because once you think you've arrived, right? Pride comes before the fall. Once you think you've arrived, that's when you're in trouble. So I try to always remember where I came from. I try to remain humble and realize that even though things are going real well right now, if you don't continue to innovate and continue to, you know, pay attention to trends and what's happening in the world, your business will not just grow forever, indefinitely. So, you know, I think that's a really important lesson, you know, being in business, right? Your business, you've had to make some changes and shifts over the years. And it's crazy to think just 3 years ago, Courtney, you weren't in a very good financial situation at all. And now you're doing a business that's billing over $2 million in a year. I mean, that's ridiculous. But that's what's possible when you make a decision and you commit to that decision and you show up even when you don't feel like it. And I think when you choose courage over comfort, you know, your whole life can change.
I love it. Yeah. And you know, that's the one thing that people have got to understand. Like you can have security. Like a lot of people, you know, have this sense of security with a job and health insurance and, you know, all these things that they get. And then, but they don't have any security. And later on down the road, you know, 96% of Americans, when they hit age 65, are dead broke, or on government or family support. And that's not where we want to be. And so many people just don't understand, you know, like the two tax systems. They don't understand that as a W-2 employee, they are going to pay, like, get this, this is crazy. If you combine all of the taxes that you pay, like sales tax, income taxes, you know, federal, state, local taxes, all of these added up, you actually pay more in taxes in your lifetime as a W-2 employee than you will on food, clothing, housing, and transportation combined.
Crazy.
And so what Robert Kiyosaki says in his book, you know, The Business of the 21st Century and Retire Young, Retire Rich, it says that you work off of 50% money when you're a W-2 employee. And the reason why is because so much of it is going away in taxes. And one of the things, like you talked about being a mortgage broker or mortgage, you know, officer, like you are making good money. The problem is that, I see people every single day who are making good money as a W-2 employee, and they're giving half of it away to the government. And I'm like, well, why don't you be a business owner? Because as a business owner, we get to make our money. We get to buy the things that we want and we need. And most of them become tax deductions for us. And then what's left over, if there's anything left over on paper, then we pay taxes on it. Whereas as a W-2 employee, you make that $125,000 a year that you were making, you make that money, and then you pay taxes, and you have no say-so in it. That's one of the things that drives me crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But think about that for a second too. Like, let me ask you a question. Actually, what if you were just to compare the two? This would be fun. If someone made $50,000 a year in a job and someone made $50,000 a year, same amount of money, but one owns a business with tax deductions, the other one's a W-2 employee. What's the difference in taxes those two would pay? Like typically
about $12,000, because yeah. So
24%.
You're gonna love this. So I showed my staff, because I have to teach them these things, which is it's tough to teach a W-2 employee the information that I'm teaching, and they still continue to want to be W-2 employees. So it's
like, start a business, even if you fail, you can still say you tried.
Exactly. So I showed them the 60,000 on average. You're going to pay 14,000 in taxes, and then I showed them $450,000 as a business owner, and I just started wiping out things. So bought a Suburban last year, that was $65,000. Bought a Cadillac XT6, that was a $10,000 deduction. Now I didn't pay that much. I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay it off. I literally just bought it and signed a piece of paper, and because I did, it became a tax deduction. And because that a Suburban is over 6,000 gross vehicle weight, that was 100% tax deductible. So that one vehicle saved me $28,000 in taxes last year. So I hired my kids. That's $72,000 in a tax deduction. So I have 6 children times $12,000 a year. I can pay them. They don't have to pay taxes on it. I don't have to pay taxes on it.
You gotta have some more kids.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta have more kids. So put in.
How do I write off my $250,000 pool?
That's what I was just talking about. So swimming pool, we put in a swimming pool. That is a fringe benefit because we hired our children. They are employees for us, right? And we allow them to swim in our swimming pool. You can also offer them an exercise facility. You can offer them a golf course or a tennis court. And as long as it's on your property and you have employees, you can offer it to them as an employee benefit. So that's 100% tax deductible for you.
Wow.
I started knocking out landscaping for the pool. Obviously, you got to have a nice looking pool. You got to have a fence. You got to have all these things. And then I took out, so the Cadillac XT6, I bought that the last day of the year because it was either take advantage of an $1,800 deduction for depreciation for my BMW that I had, or I was able to take a $10,000 deduction. So I opted with the $10,000 deduction for just that year. The next day, because it was a new year, I got a $16,000 deduction on that. So I just started knocking out hiring my kids, putting in a pool, becoming a platinum partner with Tony Robbins, which is $85,000, $40,000.
Oh, you did the big dog with him.
Yes. It was awesome. Yeah. Whole year last year. And as soon as it goes back active again, I'll sign up to be a plat again. So all of those things, I was able to get my taxes down to a point, my taxable income down to $72,000 from $450,000. So I was just showing them as an example. Wow. And wiped out all of the income. But guess what? Because I have so many kids, I was in a lower tax bracket after the standard deduction, I was able to get $10,000 in earned income credit and child tax credit.
That's crazy.
And paying taxes. So it was just a scenario to show you guys, like, you can have anything you want in business. Like, you really can. You have to put forth the effort to do it. But the thing is that you're putting forth the effort for yourself, and you're not putting forth the effort for an employer like me. I mean, obviously, we all need employees, and there's, as a business owner, I need employees. I need people to work for me. But if you understand that you truly can have everything you want, and most of that becomes a tax deduction, you can literally take what you would have paid in taxes as a W-2 employee, and you now get to buy the things that you want and you need. And so with this, yesterday we got a high country, I don't know, dually 3500 HD or something to drive with our toy hauler. So we got a toy hauler. The intent of having that toy hauler, understand, my intention of buying the toy hauler is for us to travel all around the country and for me to grow my business. Now, if I have fun along the way and I happen to stop by some ATV parks and hang out and, do some interviews along the way, because I now have a toy hauler that I can sit in and I can work from, and my kids have a blast, that's okay, because my intention of buying that toy hauler was to grow my business. My intention of buying the truck was to pull the toy hauler, and now that becomes 100% tax deductible for us. So that saved me almost a truck. Buying those two almost saved me the truck. So when you understand that taxes are a game, you're just in the wrong tax system, then it makes it even more beneficial for you to become a home-based business owner, because there's so many things that you're just missing out on. Self meals, mileage, internet, business use of home, swimming pool, and you get to have fun, travel. That's one of the biggest things, is being able to travel. And if your kids work for you, guess what? Their travel's a tax deduction as well. So if they go with you to events and hang out with you, I take a child with me to every event, and they get to be a part of what we're doing. And now our children are starting to own percentage of our company, and we're shifting off our income onto them, which even saves us more money in taxes. So it becomes a lot of fun, and we're developing this legacy for our children so that they never have to worry about becoming a W-2 employee. They get to decide, choose what they want to do with their life because of decisions we made. And that's exactly what you get to do for your children, John.
Right. Leaving a legacy. I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? It's exciting when you start making money, but once you understand, and I know that, again, Tony Robbins talks about growth and impact and legacy, you start to realize that, like, man, this is something that even if, God forbid, something happened to me, my business isn't going to just disappear, right? Those people are still going to buy those products. The team is still going to, do and build and, consistently show up with creating an income for them, which means you still get an override even if you're not working. And that's where it's like, who cares how long it takes? If someone says, oh man, it's just, I'm struggling. It's taking longer than I anticipated. And I'm like, were you planning on working the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years anyway? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, if you're planning on working anyway, if you do something different, are you going to get a different result? Right? If you do a W-2, right? If you show up to work every day for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, are you eventually going to be able to stop and earn residual income? No. Well, then who cares if it's taken a while? Like 10 years from now, if you're making monthly what you used to make right now annually, if your annual income becomes your monthly income 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're not going to look back and be like, man, that's so frustrating that it took so long to get here. No, because once you arrive, it doesn't matter. It's like I saw Shark Tank. Mark Cuban said, it took him a while to become a millionaire, and, he tried a bunch of different businesses, and he goes, but the good news is you only have to become a multimillionaire one time and you're good, right? As long as you're not dumb, you don't make any real bad decisions, you only have to do it once.
Yeah.
So even if it takes 5, 10, 15 years and you fail over and over again, you have to try all these different things. Once it happens, it's like, right? And then from there, you teach other people. That's it.
And then you get paid for it. That's the cool part. Like even as a trainer, being a W-2 employee, you don't get paid a percentage of the person that you trained.
Right.
You just don't. And so, guys, we're not knocking at all W-2 employees. We just want you to understand that when you are a W-2 employee, you're going to pay the most in taxes, period. And what's currently happening right now in our economy is not working. It wasn't working before the pandemic, and I think it exposed a lot of things during the pandemic, which is why the network marketing industry is exploding the way that it is. And, as an employer with 25 employees, out my door, I have 25 employees. If one of them tests positive for COVID, next my entire business down, send them home, pay them to work for me while they're sitting at home for 5 days waiting on COVID test. And so things are going to get a little crazy in the W-2 world, especially with schools opening back up. And, it becomes very hard as an employer to say, I want to give raises, I want to give bonuses, I want to, do these things. But in the network marketing space, as long as you have a phone, you have a business. You can make money, right? Or 2 or 3, you could have more. And if you have 2 or 3, maybe you can do it even faster, right? You could children, right? I mean, I have a 6-year-old, and I literally she's 7 now, but I taught her how to invite people. And I went to my more relaxing, less taxing page, and I hit the invite button, and it had all the little blue buttons. And I was like, baby, just hit the blue button. And she sat there and invited and invited and invited, and I paid her to do that.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, so, if you got 2 or 3 phones, you can do it faster. Get your children involved and let them build a business for you. So, John, I really love this. This was so much fun, and you are hilarious. And if we had your wife on, like, it would be nuts. Like, we would be just laughing.
We'll have to get her on a separate one. Yeah, her and I can talk, so that's why we have to do them separate.
I love it. I love it. So,
She's way funnier than I am, though. Way funnier, way smarter. She's got the accent, you and her with the Russian accent, the Southern. Yeah, that's
got to happen. Over. It's got to happen. I don't know how many people actually understand what we're saying, but hey, it doesn't even matter. It will.
I don't always understand what Nadia is saying, but I still laugh.
I love it. So, last thing, just whatever you want to share with the audience, whether it's, why somebody should stay in long enough to win, why they need to start building this business, whatever you've got. I just love for you to share some motivation with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really important for us to invest in ourselves, invest the time, invest the money, look, the more courses you invest in, books you read, seminars you attend, the more successful you're going to be. However, you need to implement. That's the key. Sometimes I do notice that people invest a lot of time and money into learning things, which is great. You absolutely need to do that. Thank God I was going to those seminars early on, and I'm not a big reader. I don't really read books, but I download them on Audible, and I'll listen, right? Especially when the narrator reads the book. I always love that. I listen to a lot of podcasts, watch YouTube, watch Facebook. The point is, you got to invest the time and money into learning the information, but then the key is to implement, right? The executor is always going to have more results than the person that's out there learning the information just because they want to know the information. I think some people, they get caught up in feeling like they need to know everything. And, it's almost like a form of procrastination. Because it's like, well, I don't have time to do my business right now because I'm going through this course or reading the books. So you got to do both, right? You got to take action. You got to implement. You got to execute on the things you're learning, but you need to also be learning every single day, man. You have to work on yourself. And even if it's just, I remember in the first company I was in, they used to say, just read 10 pages a day. Just read 10 pages a day of a good book, something that's going to feed your soul. It's going to, develop your mind, develop your skills. It's going to inspire you. 10 pages every day. And over the course of a year, that's thousands of pages. And you're going through all these books. And, nobody's too busy to read 10 pages a day. Nobody's too busy to do 15 to 30 minutes of personal development every day. And it's just those little decisions, those little daily disciplines that can make all the difference in the world.
I love it. I love it. I so appreciate you being on here, and what you do every single day is that, helping people, teach them how to have more so that they can live more, and then they can in turn give more, which is exactly what I'm all about. So I appreciate you for all you've done. I have clients because of you starting something, 19 years ago. I mean, I know you're in a different company now, but you started something 19 years ago, and I benefit from that. And that's the thing that I want people to understand, that this is an amazing opportunity to get involved in something that can not only change your life financially by saving money in taxes, by making extra money as you continue to grow and learn, but being around the right people and having that personal growth and development that you truly need to go to the next level. So I appreciate you so much, John, for being on this episode of What's Your Plan B? Why you would be brain dead not to own a home-based business.
I love it. I appreciate you having me on.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, Courtney. Bye, everyone.